Ladies, gentlemen, people who don't give a fuck, it's my pleasure to introduce you all to the one-time man, current myth and legend. Please welcome to the show, Nothing Nowhere.
Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome aboard, buddy. Great to have you. Let's start with the first thing of the first things. Congrats on the new release. This is there's no way this is your first independent project. Is it? No.
Well, it feels like it. The last time I released something independent was like early 2016.
Yeah! Oh, yeah, which was a couple hundred years ago at this point.
Yeah, which it might as well be the first independent release ever.
So this is with this release, Dark Magic, you do bid farewell to Fueled by Ramen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, of course, they've treated you well, but what influenced the decision to just take it out on your own?
Man. Well, I've been on a label since like, I guess I technically signed with Fueled by / Equal Vision / DCD2, which is Pete Wentz's label, Decadence, in late 2016. So ever since I released Reaper, I've been on a label, and it was like at the time I just signed to a label because I was working a desk job, and I was like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like I want to die every day. And so but then the label, I met with a bunch of labels, and they're like, hey, here's a bunch of money and you can just do this full time. And at the time I was like, of course. But I mean, now that there's like kind of a cult, and there's kind of like there's definitely a cult for real.
I think the cult precedes you. I think the cult, I had already seen in your Twitter feed, fans of yours have already gotten Dark Magic themed tattoos. It was just like some people, straight to the shop.
Yeah, that's like always been the case for Nothing Nowhere. Like one of my first tours I ever did like was with I was opening for Thrice and La Dispute, and like even then, like I had like barely any fans, but the fans still had like Nothing Nowhere neck tattoos. I'm like, it's crazy. So anyways, like now that I have like a foundation, and it's like it's not necessary to have a label at this point, and I wanted to be independent for a while, for a lot of reasons, just like wanted to release as much music as I could and just do my own thing. And I finally, like, we came to like an agreement, and I'm a free man. I'm out the pen.
I gotta say, my impression going through this record for the first time was he's kind of, you sound like you're kind of back with a vengeance. This isn't like the next release. It feels like you kind of got your pad, your pen, your paper up, and we're like, I need to go back bar for bar. I need to go back to these raps. Does that resonate with you at all?
No, for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just was like, I don't really overthink music. I just like whatever I'm feeling at that moment is what I make. And I try not to, because every time I overthink it, like it usually sounds like garbage. So
that's how most art seems to work. Yeah,
it's just where my head was at. And I don't know, the next one, I started the next tape already, and it's kind of like different than this one. And I'm trying to release like 4 tapes this year, like 20 songs a piece.
What has driven this explosion in creativity and output?
Oh, well, I've always been like this. I just like when you're on a label, like you record 10 songs and then you have to wait a year or 2 years to put those 10 songs out. By the time you put those 10 songs out, you're like, I hate this. Like, this sucks.
You're a different person entirely by that point.
Yeah, absolutely. You're on to the next thing. Like, so now, like when I did like Trauma Factory, I had like 85 songs I had to whittle down to like 12 or something. And I've just always had this output. And before I signed, I would record a song and post it the same day. So now I'm just back to like what naturally works for me. So it just feels like right. And it feels like I would get so lazy on a label too, because I'm like, well, this song isn't going to come out for like 2 years. So I don't even really want to work on it, So it's been sick.
So when did you cut? When were the sessions for Dark Magic? Like, what was your turnaround like on that?
Well, some of them are kind of old, like fan favorite, like not throwaways, but just like songs that I never put out. So there's some songs that are old as like 3 years, but then like there's also songs that I worked on like, 25 days before we released the tape. So it was pretty sick to like finish the tape up and drop it like a month later. And it was a blast. Like, and it's all done at my studio here. And that's just kind of the vibe moving forward. Like it's like a dream come true for sure.
You had some brutal bars on this record. You're like, I'm chilling out in my mansion in the countryside that I own. You're in your shitty apartment in the city in Los Angeles with your blonde hair and your t-shirt. And I was like, damn, he's really
Yeah, and your
coming for my neck.
name's Holiday Kirk.
You're really coming for me.
No,
But I do
no.
feel like there are a lot of bars on this one where you feel like you really are flexing, you're repping sort of your outsider status, right? We've had this discussion where it's like you've had plenty of opportunities to come to LA, be out here, and you've just chosen, you're remaining exactly where you're at. And I think that the hardest bar on this was when you were like, you're like, I have a savings account. I'm like, damn. Wow. Oh.
It's like one brain cell shit. Like I love listening to like Blade and Drain Gang and you know, there's another like upcoming rap group called, I don't know if you want to call it rap, but there's just like this collective called Shed Theory and yeah, shout out to Joey and all those guys. Yeah, I don't know. I just listen to like brain dead music and I like that shit. And it's just fun. Like, I don't know. It's just so much of my music is so like downtrodden and just difficult to write sometimes, where it's like, oh yeah, this is fun, like to just like say some out of pocket shit, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about rap.
So someone before you even came on, somebody in the chat room asked if you were going to appear on your chain mail, and I do got to say it's very interesting your Beowulf sort of turn here. What was the inspiration behind this dark magic era for you? I mean, the album okay, first of all, album tape album
Tape, I guess. When you call it an album, it's like too much weight on it, I feel like.
Yeah. But tape is good, and it feels like there's a narrative here. There's like a concept. There's like some news clippings interspersed throughout. There's this constant, reference to the cult of the Reaper. Where is all this coming from for you? And are you eventually just gonna take your cult and move to an island somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be badass. I'm close enough. I feel, yeah, dark magic. I don't know. I just was like looking at a bunch of pictures of like gnomes, like, and I was like, gnomes are badass. And then I started making some art on Photoshop of like these little wizard guys. And I don't know. I watched every single Harry Potter with my girlfriend again for some reason. It's like cringe kind of millennial move.
No, this is buddy. This is the brand spanking new metal show. I'm not here to call you cringe. You could please be open.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like, honestly, I just like sketching stuff just in my head, and I think I was having some dreams, kind of like magical, mystical little guys, and it just kind of came to me. I didn't have any like, it wasn't like premeditated or anything.
Well,
you know?
not to like jump ahead of you, but I feel like I know where you're heading with this. I think that also we're the kind of people that we like to put out projects that are like a whole project where we think about every aspect. So you don't want it to just to be like the new Nothing Nowhere release. You're like, I've been having a lot of fantasy elements, armor, gnomes, make it into a cohesive like body of work. Am I onto something?
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's the plan, like moving forward for the rest of this year, for the rest of the tapes I'm going to drop. Like each one is going to have its own cohesive, not like narrative, but just aesthetic that ties everything together. You know what I mean? I want every album to feel like a moment, not just like sonically, but like aesthetically and visually as well. Especially now that I'm back to like making all my own music videos and editing and stuff. So it's like, it's just more fun,
Speaking of which, I hear there's one coming down the old tubes right now. Can you give the people a preview? What song maybe we've got coming for the music video?
Well, we just released the Pity Party music video, and that was mad fun. Went to like a kids arcade and just like got to play games all day. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple ideas in mind. So we'll just, people stay tuned, and I'm staying active on, filming and editing. So we'll see real soon.
So as far as new metal bona fides go, so the last time I saw you was out here in Los Angeles, the Regent, and I was up on the balcony while you were getting ready for your set, and Jay Webster of Unity TX comes up to me, and he's like, hey, he's gonna do something during his set. You're gonna really fuck with. I'm like, what? what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? He's like, no, you'll know it when it happens. And I don't remember exactly what song you transitioned into it, but during that tour, you were doing a cover of One Step Closer by Linkin Park. What was the transition? Because it was like you were doing one of your songs and then you transitioned into it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, we transitioned. It transitioned like from Pieces of You into
Right.
that.
Right
So I was
into
like,
that.
yeah,
And I was up there. I was jumping up and down. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my
and then
God.
as soon as Pieces of You ends, like it just ends inside my heart, and then you hear dun, 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 dun.
I was
And then
losing
like
it.
yeah, that was like always so fun every night. And we just toured with Fall Out Boy in front of 15,000 to 20,000 people every single night in arenas. That was my most recent tour I did, and we got to play One Step Closer to like 20,000 people every night. And
Incredible. Incredible.
it went off. I didn't even have to sing or anything. I just like, you know,
Dude,
they
Linkin Park cover bands do arenas.
I saw that and I can't, it's unbelievable.
I know.
It's
I think a lot about like what our new metal movement has to do now to fill that void, because it is literally like if My Chem was not around anymore. Like we don't have a Linkin Park in the center.
Yeah.
People are out here saying System of a Down is better than Linkin Park. That's crazy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love System of a Down, but
I keep doing the like don't get me wrong thing, but I'm ready to start being like, nah, fuck that shit. Linkin Park is so much better than System of a Down.
it's like I don't know, how do you even compare the two? Like
Well,
it's like apples and oranges kind of too, right?
But before we spark that debate. I just want to know, like, so Void Eternal felt to me much more like your sort of rock project, your new metal project. You had pointed something out to me on Twitter. One of the songs that you said was like some perfect ATV Unleashed soundtrack material. Which one was it again? Was the one with See You Space Cowboy?
Yeah, Psychopsychiatry.
Yeah, which absolutely. And, you know, I love that record. I think that record is incredible. But you've been very frank online about how that record did underperform for you. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and how that may have shaped the new project?
Yeah, like I'm love being super transparent. Like I don't know why more artists kind of don't talk about, you know, how things do behind closed doors or whatever. I'm not here to like pretend and like because you know a lot of people that follow me like want to do music and maybe even want to do it like full time. And like while I do think that the financial aspect of music and the numbers aspect of music should always be your last thought, transitioning into an independent artist, like it was, I made Void Eternal and I was like, Linkin Park. I was like, okay, I want to make a record that sounds like Seosin, Bug record mixed with Linkin Park, kind of like, so like post-hardcore mixed with like new metal. And I made it here at my house and I was like, this is fucking awesome. We got everyone on it, we got so many bands on it. And it's still like one of my favorite things I've ever done. And when I finished it, I was like, yo, there's a wide open lane for this. Like there's such an open lane for this. I'm playing a bunch of rock festivals later this year. We're going overseas. And then it was like, I will preface this by saying, like, I don't want to be like media trained or anything. Like, I am being honest, but like, there's a lot of people at Fuel by Ramen that I love. I like shout out to all my guys and gals there. But, there was like, I don't think they really knew what to do with Void Eternal, if we're being honest. I don't think, because you don't really have any heavy bands on Fueled by these days. And they're more kind of radio centric. So they didn't really know what to do with it. So it was kind of a combination of that. And, when the tour happened, it was just super confusing for me when I'd go out and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm not seeing any sellouts yet. None of these venues are selling out. None of these are selling out. And then we play to like half capacity most nights. And I was like, okay, I see what's going on. Because the year before we did the Void Eternal tour, we were selling out. We were selling like over 1,000 tickets in a lot of markets and stuff. And I was like, okay, I see what's happening here, So while I did say like, yeah, like this shit should be last in your mind, the numbers and everything. But as I'm transitioning, and I knew I'd be transitioning at this point to an independent artist, I'm like, well, fuck, like, I have to not make a compromise, but I really just have to think of this a little bit more strategically. And for me to be artistically fulfilled, but also support myself, what I came to was like, I'm just going to release a fuck ton of music this year. So I'm not compromising anything. I can do my new metal. I can do my heavy stuff. I can do my rap stuff, and everybody gets what they want. And the shareholders are happy and the artist is happy. Where it's not so much pressure where it's like, all right, every 2 years, you got your 10 little songs you can do. So,
Well, wait, hold on. Before we go too far, I'm curious. You said when you saw that the tours, going half capacity, and you say, "I see what's happening here." What specifically
yeah.
did you see? Was Fueled by's tour support just not there?
No, I mean, there's a lot of things that a label does, and I never really accepted tour support. I think I did once, and it was overseas, so I didn't. Tour support meaning in advance of money up front, you know what I mean? To support your touring. Like when I did like one overseas run, so I wouldn't lose like $20,000, I took tour support. But in terms of like other types of support, like marketing and stuff like that, I don't really think that labels really do too much these days on that tip. Like I think they do like digital ads and stuff like that, but it's really everything's out onto the artist. Like if people sign to a label in 2024, like you're the one who's making all the content. You're the one who's thinking up of all the little like TikToks and stuff you have to do. Like the label does not do anything for you.
I was gonna bring this up too. You said like
Yeah.
artists shouldn't worry about the numbers. That's all anyone can see now. Like, do you ever wonder what
Yeah.
it does to us psychically that we know exactly how many streams a song has on Spotify?
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't know that. We shouldn't know
No.
that. That shouldn't be your first impression of an album is like, this song has way more streams than this song. It should just be a CD, you put in, you listen to every track. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, how do we decouple that? Like, I mean, really, my broader thing is like, how do we give tech all this power over art to where they determine everything for us? To where it's to this point now where musicians write songs and they're like, we can't put a swear in the first 30 seconds of the song or then it'll get demonetized on YouTube. It's like, that is not how you should be writing songs, bro.
No, dude. And I mean, I signed to a label years ago. Like, and I did, I played the game a bit, like I was on radio for a while with like Fake Friend and Pieces of You. And because like each one with like the music industry, I was like, all right, I'll give you guys one song. They keep, hey, we need a song for radio. We need a song for radio. I was like, all right, I'll give you one, but like, let me do what I want for the rest of the record. I want to do whatever I want. And they're like, yeah, just give us one. So I had all these years of going out to LA and doing all these songwriting kind of sessions with a bunch of session guys. And it's just ingrained into my head. Like growing up, listening to new metal or like post-hardcore, metalcore, you just like what you like. Like, I don't give a fuck if a song has a 2-minute intro. If it sounds sick, it sounds sick. But I became so indoctrinated the early years of Nothing Nowhere because so many songwriters would be like, the chorus isn't hitting in the first 30 seconds. Or, like you're not putting the chorus in 3 times, it's only in 2 times. And where's the bridge? And I'm like, I never thought of this. Like, this doesn't matter to me. Like, if it's sick, then it's sick. And like, I've had this slowly over the past couple of years unlearn all of this because there's people who are like kind of digging their heels into the sand of the way things used to be with radio and chorus in the first 30 seconds, that it's like it's super toxic and like it's not their fault, it's the way things used to be. But that should not be how an artist should like approach a song.
No, I mean, like artists will and always have tailored their songs to listeners. Like, well, we want people to like the song, but now it's like we want Spotify to like the song. That's weird. That's not good. That's not healthy.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean,
that's that would be like Fleetwood Mac cutting rumors and being like, how do we make the vinyl manufacturers like this song? Like, we don't, not even the listening public, not radio, but like the people that press the vinyl, they have to fuck with this or we're screwed. Like it's just a platform. It should be just something we pass through to get to the listener.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I think like art in general, it's like really unhealthy right now. Maybe it sounds like low hanging fruit, like, technology bad, TikTok bad, but like, there's a lot of truth in that.
Well, the thing is though, is that I don't think me and you were ever the ones to just be like technology bad. Like we owe our careers to being it. We're on twitch.tv right now, right? Like there's only so many stones we can throw at this glass house. But I do think at the same time, we have to decouple the art itself from these platforms, these tech companies, because it's like they shouldn't have the final say over this stuff. They shouldn't have the first say.
No, and like, yeah, I think the first, like, people are realizing that in 2024 labels are, let's just say it, obsolete, like what the fuck is a label going to do for you that you can't do for yourself? You know what I mean? Besides give you a massive advance up front if you really need it, and that's just my experience of being on a label forever. And then I think like secondary to that is like, now we have to honestly think about the algorithm and, like music streaming services. They're becoming like, I don't know. It's like you said, like I have to almost delete the Spotify for artists thing off of my phone because I'm checking the streams and I'm like, well, this doesn't matter, dude.
Right,
like,
right. You're just like refreshing.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah. And comparing it to old albums and I'm
Oh,
like,
no, see.
popping or.
And again, it's always been that way to a degree. What are my sales like? Where are we on active rock radio and stuff like that? It's always been that to a degree. But before, that would be something that you, the artist, knew. Now everybody knows. And it's just
everybody knows.
Too
and
much.
Like promoters, booking agents, like, what are we going to book you? How many monthly listeners do you have? It's kind of crazy.
It's out of control. I would like to invite our chat room to submit some questions. Would love to send some questions in. Here's the first one. I'm just going to ask it. Why the hell not? Would you ever collaborate with Insane Clown Posse?
Yo, we saw ICP. What festival were we at? Riot Fest? Yeah! Maybe Riot Fest or something. And we I got to see them for the first time live. And it was fucking nuts. I know I always heard like they throw Fago like crazy, but I was not expecting the amount.
I had watched their Woodstock 99 performance. I did not realize that they just do it the whole time.
It was the whole time. Like they started like 20. First of all, I think it was Sleep Token who played right before them.
Oh, because of course.
And their ICP fans fucking hated it. Like they were screaming at them and like,
we gotta find clips of that later because I need the Sleep Token opens for Insane Clown Posse footage like now.
Yo, it was crazy because I think I watched 100 Gex and then I watched ICP, but it was sick. And like they just brought out all these pallets. They played like 20 minutes late and way over. And it was just like insane. So yeah,
you would collab.
Yeah, why not?
Speaking of collabs, I've got the most obvious yes ever. Just put the yes at the front of your mouth right now because I think you're gonna say yes. Would you ever collaborate with Mike Shinoda?
Yes.
That'd be a weird one for you to be like, no.
Yeah, no, I think we've hit him up before in the past, and like I've never really expected anything, but. Weirdly enough, he posted a picture of me on his Instagram grid, and I don't think he knew it was me. It's a picture of me with it's the back of the Reaper album art, and it's me with the skull and then like a skull mask, and I have an acoustic, and he posted it, and everyone kept adding me, and I was like, what the hell? And I was like, oh, I think he just like thought it was a cool picture or something and posted it. But
that's not fair. He was like, hey, check out this cool random guy. Don't know who this is. Yeah. Looks cool.
Yeah, but no, I would. I don't see anyone who like wouldn't. Like, yeah, he's
of course
a legend.
X-Fed needs to know if the Ruiner vinyl is ever coming around.
The Ruiner vinyl. We did Reaper Ruiner. Like it's like a dual fold vinyl where we did Reaper and Ruiner in one. But we're definitely gonna do some like reissues and different variants and stuff. Because for some reason now that I'm off a label, printing vinyl has never been easier, so go figure. So definitely gonna be throwing those out.
Any one takes coming from Dark Magic? TJS Lusser needs to know.
Yeah. To be honest, I just have been like, I've just been working on the new tape where like I'm like I need to like do stuff for Dark Magic, but now that I know I can release the tape whenever, I've already started cooking up. But yeah, I have a lot of one take ideas. I know it's been long overdue.
Ms. Lucas says, this is strange, says, please stay away from Brazil. Your music changed my life. Do not come to Brazil. Never heard of that before. Are you planning on not coming to Brazil this year?
I heard that's like evil come to
Oh wait, no, it
Brazil.
says please come to Brazil. I'm sorry, I misread that. It says please come to Brazil. Will you be coming to Brazil at some point? I'm really sorry.
Of course, yeah. Like put it on a shirt.
Brazil
Come
is
to Brazil.
Brazil's in the plans though for this year.
For the meme, it should just be, you know what I mean? Like, come to Brazil is like my favorite thing in the world. And I feel like if I actually came to Brazil, everyone would be so hyped. So I would love
The
to.
come to Brazil meme always makes it feel like if you did like one show in the middle of Sao Paulo, the entire country would just descend on that one location to see you.
Well, I think 2025 would be a good year to find out. So,
Is like coming to Brazil really hard or something? Is a lot is it complicated?
I mean, I toured in Australia last year.
Oh,
Like,
you've
that's
never gone to Brazil.
no, no.
Got it.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Sneaky Squid 17 wants you back in Australia, by the way. He's asking about the next one.
Sneaky Squid. Yo, Australia was so rad. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a more tropical LA.
Oh man.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. Like my sister lives in Australia too, so we stayed after. We were like goths at the beach, like in all black, just like it was badass. It was like just a different planet.
GI99 has an interesting question here, a deeper question. Was Trauma Factory an album created with pressure from Ramen to appeal to wide masses? They don't dislike a single album you made, but Trauma Factory felt like the label was like, we want this song, this type of song, etc. Interesting.
The only song that was like a conversation where like I was kind of on the fence about it, but like it was gonna go to radio was Fake Friend, which is on there. And that did go to radio. It was on like number 9 of Billboard or something for a while. And that was the only one. The rest of it was just me just doing my thing, you know? And I think if there was any pressure for it to do good, it was just on me, like me putting myself through all the pressure.
Interesting.
You know, like, and it did do really well. Like, but yeah, it was just that one song, Fake Friend. The rest of it was just me.
Well, that's interesting then, because it's like on the one hand, there was pressure. Yeah, it was like there was some pressure to cut a radio track, and that's all. You know how artists are always about that. But on the other hand, it sounds like it paid off.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I think a lot of people discovered my music through that, and I'm really grateful for it. And especially, I dropped it during COVID, where like it was, you know, just people were kind of like yearning for new material from anyone, you know. And yeah, it's just definitely it's by far my most successful album, like any way you want to slice it. And I don't know why, but it is.
um, I don't want to skip this one because I'm hyped too, and we you know what, when it happens, we need to figure a way where we can play this together and stream it. Are you hyped for Skate 4?
Oh my god,
Oh
yeah.
my god, the streets
Yeah, which
need.
I guess
The
I guess
streets
it's just
need it.
called Skate. Like
Oh yeah,
it's not,
they did that
but
thing.
everyone's gonna call it Skate 4. We're calling it Skate 4. Yeah, like I probably have more hours on Skate 1 through 3 than I do on any other game. Maybe a second to like Oblivion
My
or something.
somewhat controversial opinion is that Skate 2 is better than every THPS game combined.
Better than
sorry.
THPS.
I'm sorry. It's better. It's the better game.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so I'll say this. When Skate 1 dropped, there was a Circuit City in my town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, and I used to ride my Joker BMX bike from my house to Circuit City just to play the demo of Skate.
I remember them
Just
days.
Just to play the demo of Skate.
Just to play the demo. Yep.
For like 5 hours playing the demo of Skate until they closed, and then I'd ride my bike back and then like do it again the next day. And when I'd be in school, I'd be like, I can't wait to ride my bike to Circuit City to play Skate.
They were so tolerant of us at those Circuit Cities and those Best Buys. Like they let us cool. They let us. It
was a free arcade, as far as I'm concerned. It was free.
Also, the soundtracks to those two games insanely good. Like,
yeah,
like really, really good. Like Skate 2 has like Sly and the Family Stone and Sister Nancy and the White Stripes, and the first one has Black Flag and Bad Brains and Gangstar and NWA. Yeah. And this is a conversation I have with people sometimes where people are like, Oh yeah, Tony Hawk and skateboarding are so new metals or so new metal. Not really. Skateboarding's like hip hop and punk.
Yeah, I would say motocross is the most new metal sport.
I think
Like
it's
put that on record.
snowboarding. I think it's snowboarding.
Well, okay, so I've been snowboarding for 25 years. I've been on the mountain since I've been on the mountain since I was 2, literally.
Same.
Like my dad had me on a leash and I've been on the hill that long. I would say the old like whiskey, go back and watch the old whiskey snowboard videos. Maybe even some of the old Mac Dog productions. There's a bunch of old classic snowboard videos that it was big for a while. And then it kind of like just it meshed with skate culture like pretty heavy. But I feel like motocross, like we were watching Supercross, it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and they're still cutting promos with like, I don't know, POD or some shit.
Really?
You know, like it's
You need to
crazy.
get on that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is wrestling the most new metal sport?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I don't know why I didn't like consider professional wrestling to be like a sport. It's not a sport.
Have you seen that vignette of I think it was Stone Cold. I think you probably posted it. It was Stone Cold and The Rock. And it was
Oh, I've seen the My Way promo.
yeah,
It's like
the My Way
it's like our genre's Godfather. It's like
Yeah.
it's like our genre's Citizen Kane. Like the people do not play about
Yeah.
the My Way promo. Like that's
Dude, I used to, speaking of snowboarding, my parents used to drive me up to the mountain every weekend, and I had one of those anti-shock like whatever, those like Discmans, and I used to play My Way on repeat. And there was this girl, Courtney, in like my, what was it, 3rd grade or 4th grade class, who was like way taller than me and was like slightly mean to me. And when he was like, you
always the biggest crushes, by the way. The slight meanness.
on me.
The slight meanness.
And I used to just listen to that My Way song over and over on my Discman and just like be fuming and be like, this is real shit.
This
like
is
it was
real
so
shit.
sick.
Speaking of, you need to tell everyone live on air what you had to do to make penance for purchasing chocolate starfish. Everyone's got to know chocolate starfish in the hot dog flavored water. You had to come clean to Jesus about this. Tell everyone, please.
Yeah. I've said this before, but yeah, I was like a good kid. I was a good kid growing up, and I was raised Catholic, so you had to do your first Holy Communion, and through CCD, which is like kind of Sunday school would be another way to put it. I had to make my first confession, was part of the curriculum. And I didn't, like I said, I was a good kid. And like the worst thing that I did was my mom took me to the store. I want to say it was Barnes and Nobles or something, or a store called Strawberries in Massachusetts. And I bought chocolate starfish, and she didn't know it, but it was the explicit version. And I would listen to it in my bed and be like, I'm not supposed to be listening to this, but this is so badass that I'm doing this. So I had to do my confirmation, and I swear to God, the man above, I did the confirmation. The priest was like, hey, my son, like, what the fuck's good? What did you do?
He said, what the fuck's good? He was the one to confess this to. You're like, I need to get that cool preacher that swears. I need to get the cool swearing preacher.
Verbatim. No, he said whatever he said. I don't know what he said. But he was like, give me the sins or whatever. And I was like, hey, like I've been listening to, I literally said, I've been listening to chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water, but it's the version with swearing. And he had no idea what I was talking about, but he was like, okay, say a couple Hail Marys and Our Fathers and fuck off,
Did you keep listening to it after that?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not Catholic. I don't know if that means like you can keep doing the sin.
As far as I'm concerned, I feel like Catholics can just do whatever the hell they want so long as they go to confession,
It sure feels like that's the case, yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not into that.
But let me ask you this. If you had passed away before confessing that you were listening to chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water uncensored, would you have had to account to that before God? Would God then have been like, read these lyrics and handed you the lyrics to hot dog? Like, read those to me.
Probably. He would have been like, yo, that album goes hard.
Yeah, he would have been, come on in, you're good, good. We're jamming it in here. We're jamming it in here.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be down with it. But no, that was my first and last confession.
This is coming to, I've seen this name come by a bunch of times. I don't want to leave anyone here hanging. Oliver, would you ever work with Oliver again? I'm not too familiar with Oliver.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're talking about Oliver Francis, who's he's like mostly does a lot of rap stuff. He does some hardcore stuff now. I think he's working on a project. But he's from like the OG kind of SoundCloud days. Yeah, look, to keep it short, yeah, for sure. He's badass.
We're moving toward the end of this section. I do want to share with you though, just because it's a really important memory to me, and probably one of my favorite concert experiences ever. It was when I went at your show at the Regent. The band Static Dress was playing, and they started playing this song they have called "Push Rope," and I watched the crowd get up and off their feet and do this crazy bounce, like honestly, like kind of like the Woodstock '99 style bounce, that up and down just to the rhythm. And I was like, whoa! Like I had to get into them right there on the spot. That shit was insane to me. So if anyone here has not checked out Static Dress, gotta endorse that. Gotta endorse the homies Unity TX. They were incredibly intimidating on that stage. They were frighteningly intense. And I want to turn this over to you as well. What kind of bands have you been into now? What are these new artists that you want to endorse? Who can we expect you to maybe be touring with in the future?
Dang, dude. I'm just opening up my Spotify right now.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah, what am I rocking with right now? Honestly, I'm so sorry. This isn't new metal, but
no. Anybody, please.
Anybody.
Please.
My favorite record from 2023 was Census Designated by an artist called Jane Remover.
Yeah, Jane Remover is new metal.
Okay, let's
go. I posted
go.
one of their songs once that had just like some heavier guitars, and they reposted it. And I was like, confirmed. I'm telling you, we have agents everywhere. Everyone's a new metal fan.
You are tapped in. That record is phenomenal.
Amazing. Yeah.
Darcy Bayless just released a new album. I don't know what it's called. Darcy Bayless is like an amazing songwriter, I think from Berlin. But it's called More Again Forever. That one's really amazing. And let me see like some heavy stuff I've been listening to lately. The newer Harm's Way record is heavy as hell. What else we got on here? Damn, dude. I love talking about music rocks.
Nothing better.
I've been going back and listening to a lot of Power Trip. I don't know. I've just been on a weird Power Trip kick.
Bro, have you checked out the new Profiler yet? Oh, no. You are going to lose your shit. I am literally going to DM you the name of this album and the band while we are sitting here on this call, because I need you to hear this right when you're off. It's called a digital. It's called a Digital Nowhere, and it's by a band called Profiler, and it is everything that you've ever wanted out of a new metal album released in 2024. It's heavy as fuck.
I'm so excited.
Turntables, everything, bounce riffs, big ass choruses. It's amazing. So I'm gonna need to, need to check the timestamp on that message. I couldn't even wait for this to be over. You had to hear this. You had to hit that now. So, all right, those are my endorsements. You got your endorsements. Before we wrap up here, though, I just want to say thank you so much for your contributions to the culture. Thank you for your years and years of incredible art. You've changed lives. You've made people so happy. But that's fucking made people so happy. You've done an incredible service to the art form known as music, the greatest and only worthwhile thing humanity's ever came up with. So thank you so much, Joe, from me and the rest of the New Metal Agenda.
Likewise, dude. Thank you so much. I'm always down to chill.
Have yourself a great evening. If I'm not mistaken, you can pick up the new release everywhere at all Best Buys, Circuit Cities, Coconut Records. That is
Radio Shack.
If Radio Shack, that is, I don't think they ever sold CDs at Radio Shack. Did they?
They do. They're just mine now.
Just yours. It's an exclusive. It's a Radio Shack exclusive. Please go grab that. It's called Dark Magic. It's wonderful. Check that out. Joe, thank you one more time. Thank you once again.
Thank you, dude.
Have a really wonderful rest of your night. Peace.